Welcome back to Brighten Up Sunshine, where every day is a new beginning. Hope all of you are doing wonderful as we dive today into the story of Joseph, from slave to the ruler. The story of Joseph unfolds in Canaan, and we're going to go through Egypt and end up in the royal palace of Pharaoh. It spans various locations, beginning in Canaan, where Joseph lived with his family. And then he goes off to Egypt, where his life took a dramatic turn of betrayal, imprisonment, and ultimately redemption. Joseph is the son of Jacob, also known as Israel, and the firstborn of Rachel, who was deeply loved by his father. Jacob's favoritism was evident when he gave Joseph a robe of many colors. You can read about that in Genesis 37:3. This special treatment actually fueled resentment among Joseph's older brothers. Joseph also had sheaves that foretold his future rise to prominence. And in one dream, his brothers' sheaves of grain bowed to his sheaf, and in another, the sun, moon, and 11 stars bowed to him. And when he shared these dreams, his brother's jealousy turned into complete hatred for him. Okay, I had to take a drink there. Okay, one day, Jacob sent Joseph to check on his brothers, who were grazing their flocks near Dothan. When the brothers saw him approaching, they conspired to kill him. Reuben was the oldest, or one of the eldest brothers. He intervened and suggested that they throw Joseph into a cistern instead, and he intended to rescue Joseph later. However, when Reuben was away, the brothers sold Joseph to a caravan of Ishmaelite traders heading to Egypt for 20 pieces of silver. To cover their actions, they dipped Joseph's colorful robe in goat's blood and presented it to Jacob, their dad, making him believe a wild animal had actually killed his beloved son. And then we're going to journey on into Egypt now, where Joseph is a slave in Potiphar's house. See, Joseph was sold to Potiphar, a captain of Pharaoh's guard. Despite his dire circumstances, Joseph prospered because the Lord was with him. Genesis 39:2. He actually gained Potiphar's trust and was put in charge of his household. However, Potiphar's wife falsely accused Joseph of attempting to assault her when he resisted her advances. This led to Joseph being thrown into prison. Even in prison, though, as we venture on into Joseph in prison, God's favor was with Joseph. He gained the trust of the warden and was put in charge of other prisoners. During this time, interpreted dreams for two of Pharaoh's officials, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker. His interpretations were accurate, and one was restored to his position and the other was executed, as Joseph had said would be. Joseph asked the cupbearer to remember him and to plead his case before Pharaoh, but the cupbearer forgot him for 2 years. Okay, Pharaoh's dream. Hold on, guys. Believe it or not, that is my wash machine. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay. That is so funny. Oh man, sorry guys. Okay, so then we go into Joseph becoming ruler. Impressed by Joseph's wisdom, Pharaoh actually appoints him as second in command over Egypt, giving him authority to oversee the land's preparation. Joseph was 30 years old when he rose to that position. And then we actually see, as the story unfolds, he does have a reunion with his family as predicted. Famine struck not only Egypt, but also the surrounding regions, including Canaan. Jacob sent his sons to Egypt to buy grain. They unknowingly bowed before Joseph, fulfilling his childhood dreams. Joseph recognized them, but concealed his identity. After testing their character through a series of events, he revealed himself, saying, I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt. Genesis 45:4. Instead of seeking revenge, Joseph actually reassured them. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Genesis 50:20. Joseph invited his entire family to live in Egypt, where he provided for them during the famine. The moral lessons of this story is God is sovereign. Despite the betrayals and hardships that Joseph faced, God's hand was at work. His story reminds us that even in the darkest of times, God can actually use our trials for his greater purpose. And the second lesson is forgiveness. Joseph's ability to forgive his brothers teaches us to let go of bitterness and trust in God's plans. Holding on to grudges only will hinder our healing and our reconciliation. The third lesson is faithfulness in all circumstances. Joseph remained faithful to God in every situation, whether as a slave, a prisoner, or ruler. Boy, between my wash machine and the phone ringing and everything, this is funny. I can't get to that. So I'm going to go on with this. Oh my goodness, guys. I'm live. My wash machine is out of balance. I can't get to it right now. That's what's in the background. And now this is ringing, so forgive me, but it will hush in just a second. So we will get through this. There must be some valuable lessons for some people in the story of Joseph. So I'm just going to keep going with this. So faithful in all circumstances. So Joseph does remain faithful to God no matter what. And then the fourth lesson is preparation and wisdom. Joseph's foresight during the years of abundance ensured survival during the famine. This teaches the importance of planning and stewardship in times of plenty. And then God's timing is the last moral lesson that I have today, and that is Joseph's rise to power did not happen overnight. The years of waiting and suffering were actually part of God's preparation. Trusting in his time is going to be crucial for all of us. So trust in God in no matter what your hardship is. Like Joseph, we may face seasons of betrayal, isolation, or injustice. His story encourages us to trust that God is working behind the scene for our good. And then embrace forgiveness. Holding grudges can destroy relationships and destroy inner peace. Joseph actually forgives and allows his family to be restored and thrive. So plan for the future. Joseph's wisdom is preparing for the famine, and this is a reminder of saving and being prudent during times of abundance. So to wrap it all up, the story of Joseph is a powerful testament to God's overall knowing everything, his strength in us when we have faith, and it shows that no matter how dire our circumstances can seem, God can transform our pain into purpose and our tragedy into triumph. As you reflect on Joseph's journey, remember that God's plan for your life is greater than you or I could even imagine. Trust him, forgive others, and remain faithful in every season. Thank you guys for joining me today. In spite of the wash machine and in spite of all the other noises in the background, I hope that you remember the sun always rises. And I hope that this story encourages you guys. And I'll see you in the next video.